a post-abortion survivor movie isn't your typical, I'm going to make this movie.
No? Really?
How did that all come together for you and your brother?
Yeah, the movie came from, my brother and I worked for ESPN for a long time and directed music videos. So, did a lot of action music videos, blew a lot of things up and stuff like that. So certainly people did not expect this to be our first film.
Yeah.
But I was just overcome when I heard Gianna Jessen speak. She is an abortion survivor. And I honestly didn't know those two words could fit together. I had no idea. And I began to Google abortion survivor and began to study for myself. And the more I did, I was mesmerized and horrified and had no idea this was a reality of our culture. And nobody really charts how many of them there are, but there are thousands. And the idea that someone could survive a procedure like that and have, as Gianna says, every day she bears the marks of someone else's decision, have both physical and emotional scars as a result, I found very intriguing. So the question was, how can I bring awareness to this? Because I got very passionate about it. So we thought maybe we could make an entertaining movie, a love story, a coming-of-age story, something that would make you laugh as much as it makes you cry, but it would be from this perspective. So instead of talking about the issue, let's just take a look at the person. Let's take a look through the person's eyes. And a movie that would really make you think. And so the movie follows the story, of Rachel's character, Hannah, who is just this beautiful 19-year-old girl trying to find her way in life and discover she's adopted and was never told because she survived an abortion. And as a result has to go on a road trip to find answers and ultimately finds the power of forgiveness. And so that was the journey of the project, and it's been amazing to see how it's proceeded.
So you get handed this script. What's your first reaction? Do you have any clue of what's actually going to be in the script?
The subject matter of the film, there's so many different things. So I didn't read the script and think, this is a story that deals with abortion. It was a story that has that as an element in it, as well as a love story, as well as a relationship with child and parent. Issues of things you experience as a 19-year-old girl. So I perceived it just as a really great story that had the subject matter tapping into something that people don't like to talk about. Mm-hmm. But initially, I didn't think it was, some sort of political film or controversial or anything like that. Just, it was an emotional story, a drama. Yeah. It was a dramatic tale of the story of Hannah. So, but I had a very emotional response to the script just because it's very powerful. I remember reading it and getting through the last part and just blubbering, just crying. Oh, sister, father. I was just moved. I was moved. I think everybody's moved. And to know that the script had that power over me, I knew that the film definitely would speak louder.
Yeah.
So, I feel like what Rachel said, a story, just an honest story, can rise above politics. Mm-hmm. And so many times we just talk about this issue through a political lens. I think there's so many of us, especially that are younger, that are tired of a political debate. That's certainly necessary, but this is a human issue. And so there's ways to talk about the issue and go further than I think politics. And I don't think people can really ever change their minds until you touch their heart. And so I feel like if you touch their heart with a film, it will affect the way they think and it will affect the way they vote. But the film is just an honest story. We say the biggest sin we wanted to confront with the film was just indifference and apathy. We want people to think about the issue for themselves. Mm-hmm. We don't even necessarily want to tell them what to think. We just want them to stop and think for themselves. And I think that no matter what your political affiliation is or your denomination, you'll be better for it if you think about this issue and you talk about it with people that you know. And that's what we hope happens from the film.
You kind of talk about in other interviews you talk about, you just toss out the term sanctity of life.
Yeah.
Where were those seeds planted for you? Was that something that you came to as an adult, or was that something?
I was raised pro-life, raised very religious, raised Baptist, and growing up as a Christian, and so certainly this was an important issue for my family. And we do say the film is about sanctity of life, and what we mean that, the tagline of the film is "Every life is beautiful." So the film is a celebration of life, of every life, and so it includes the pro-life debate, abortion debate, but also adoption, orphans. The idea is how can we value life again, really, in our society? Because I believe in some ways we've lost just the worth of each person, and that's something that we're really trying to celebrate through the movie. It's not necessarily about what we're against; it's about what we're about celebrating life. And so I was raised that way, but I hadn't really ever done anything about it, you know. And I think belief should always be accompanied by action. You should do something. And so this film for me was a chance to put my belief into action, and this was the first for me. So I'm privileged and humbled to be a part of that community.
So when you have those beliefs, do you have to go ahead and assemble a cast and a crew that all sort of believes the same thing, or did you go through that process as you were trying to piece this movie together through casting or whatever?
That is a great question, and one that we argue about frequently in our circle of people that make religious films, or faith-based films. How much should the crew buy in? Should you only use actors that believe what you believe? Very interesting with October Baby, we don't require the actors to hold our beliefs. We don't require that the actors necessarily believe in, have a faith but we require that they believe it is sacred for us. So they have to buy in that this is sacred for us and at least respect that. Having said that, though, it was amazing with October Baby, the actors that came together all believed and bought in and identified with the core message of the movie. Maybe just because the script is what it is, and it's about what it is. So if you're going to commit to the project, you have to commit to the project. And maybe it was because of that, but everybody from John Schneider to Jasmine Guy, people that you might have heard of, to new voices and faces like Rachel, to Sherry's true story of being post-aborted that we were totally aware of. It was amazing to see the cast gel together and the crew and become this family and to really buy into the purpose of the film. Everybody, top to bottom, bought into the purpose of the film. And that made for a very special experience.